We're starting off with Scott. Scott, you're with Allworth Money Matters.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Scott.
Yep. Thanks for having me on the show. I started listening about 3 months ago.
Oh, all right.
And kind of catching up on your old podcasts. You're kind of making me a little bit nervous about my allocation as I listen to you.
Okay.
So, but my questions are primarily about Roth conversions and how much variability there seems to be in the different software packages out there.
Okay. Well, a lot of them. Some of them. It's just a narrow view. It's not the. It's difficult to get a complete holistic view of Scott's financial life, risk tolerance, income needs.
These are ones that have you enter in quite a bit of data.
Okay.
And subscribe to them. So these are not free calculators.
Okay.
And you probably know which ones are out there. And my background is I'm 63, retired in the last year. I have a net worth of about 6.1. And in terms of most of it's in an IRA, a SEP IRA, and about 154,000 in a brokerage account. And then I did a Roth conversion this year of about 321,000. That was prior to the tax bill changing.
Are you married?
I'm married. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are your kids grown and out of the house, self-supportive?
They are in their 20s, and some of them are in the house, some of them are out of the house.
Okay.
None of them are dependents on my tax return.
It doesn't mean they're not dependents, but okay, keep going.
Well, I was very specific about my statement.
Thank you.
They could be okay if they had to be.
Yes.
Yeah. The youngest is still in college.
Okay.
So and what do you, have you started taking Social Security?
No, I'm not going to do that till age 70.
All right, well, we'll discuss that. And what are you living on?
We're in the ballpark of 180 to 200 a year in terms of what we are spending, including taxes.
Where's it coming from?
Probably about 3/4 of it at least are from IRA distributions.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other, and I kind of do that as a baseline paycheck, and then I will do some brokerage withdrawals, depending upon what I need to fill the gaps.
Okay.
But that's kind of how I've done it so far, and I've tried to make sure that I have enough to pay the taxes on the Roth conversion from the brokerage account. As I understand, that's a better source.
But you're not going to be able to do it very long. So what's your question for us?
Well, when you use these different calculators, there can be as much of a difference of 40 to 50% in terms of, and the sequence of Roth conversions can vary a fair amount. And even when I tell you all the things I just told you, and I was surprised. I thought it would be a little bit more precise about, and obviously it can vary.
Well, a lot of it is it's what the future tax rates are going to be that nobody knows.
Right. So I'm kind of banking on.
So we can run all the numbers we want, but the outcome is going to be based more on our assumptions. And the assumptions that we're putting in is based upon what we believe Congress and the future administration is going to do with tax law.
Right.
So if we believe tax law is going to be much higher in the future, this is a really easy decision to make. If we believe they're going to be the same, if we believe they're going to be the same, then it's relatively easy math. If we believe that there's going to be more complicated, then we don't know.
Right.
So the software programs are only going to do so much for us because it's going to be based upon assumptions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's your question for us?
So my assumption is that the tax rates are likely to go higher, and that because I have such a large percentage of my retirement in a SEP IRA, with some big RMDs coming at age 75.
That's right. And you believe that tax rates will go higher predominantly on higher income people or across the board?
Probably in higher income more so, but I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But I think it'll affect me.
So
Let's put it that way.
Well, if I were planning, I would agree with you on that. So I think most people that have some decent savings at retirement should plan on higher tax in the future. And if we don't have them, great. But
why? What? So give me the reason that you think you should wait till you're age 70 to start taking Social Security benefits.
Well, I mean, when I use the different calculators, it suggests that's as long as I can live on other funds, then I should wait to get the 8% increase every year.
But if we believe
that's
tax
based
rates
upon
are
an assumption.
Yeah, but if we believe tax rates are going to be higher, and I started taking Social Security, could I not use some of that Social Security to pay for the Roth conversions?
Okay, I just haven't thought about that.
No. So when you look at the situation, this is what if you and I were just sitting and going for a bike ride like Scott does with his buddies, and they talk about politics and money.
I go for bike rides with my buddies too. So
Okay,
well, you talk about politics and money.
about politics and money, right? And how
yeah, sometimes we try to avoid the politics.
yeah, and how fast
If you ride with someone who's very similar politically, then it's a lot of fun.
That's right. And how fast you used to be.
I get it.
You used to be really fast. That's right.
Well, they're all faster than me.
No, it's actually so. It's my bicycle's problem. So here's what I would think about. I would think about your net worth in the scheme of taxation in the United States. So if we think about this and we think about relative wealth, because you look at yourself and you don't think you're that wealthy.
The guy with 15 million is wealthy,
right?
You're middle class.
Yeah, it's all relative. It's
correct.
Relative.
Yes. That's right. Everything's relative. So I would worry about Social Security taxation or lack of Social Security.
Because where do you think he is as far as percentile for 63-year-olds?
You're in the top 0.00
less than 1%.
Yeah, you're most certainly in the top 0.5% of net worth in the United States at age 63. And then you look at these distributions and the Roth conversions, and you're taking out about a 4% distribution a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so let's just assume that you're going to grow at 8%. We're going to get to $9-10 million by the time you're 70. And at that point in time, the Social Security taxation, the Social Security is a really weird thing because of the fact that
statutory wise, when we hit zero, which is either 2023 or 2024, by the way, looks like your normal retirement age is 2032, so you're going to be right up against it. It's an automatic 23% cut across the board.
And then I make another argument, and because you're relatively...
So while it might grow 8%, you are betting that Congress is going to step up and say that Scott, who's in the top 1% of wealthy retirees, needs his Social Security preserved.
So in this...
I'm of the assumption that people like Scott...
2032... So you're thinking in 2022 they're going to increase the percentage of Social Security?
Oh no, I think it might happen before.
I think it'll be needs based. That's my assumption. Maybe I'm wrong.
But this has happened before. If you look at the history of taxation of Social Security, back in the 80s, Social Security benefits were tax free, and then they started taxing 50% of the benefits of incomes with couples over $32,000. And they created a whole new provision in the tax law called provisional income, which included tax-free municipal bond income. For the first time ever, they were figuring out how they could actually tax municipal bond income. About 4 or 5 years later, in the early 90s, they said, this is working out pretty well. Let's start taxing incomes of $44,000 and above. We will tax 85% of their Social Security.
I mean, we would include 85% of their Social Security in their income tax rate.
And never adjusted any of this for inflation, by the way.
Exactly. So in my calculations, I should vary the amount of taxation that's going to occur on my Social Security to kind of get a better understanding.
I would
No,
I'd take it.
If I were you,
I'd take it now.
I would assume I'm not going to get Social Security come 2033, 2034. I'm of the assumption.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No. Who are they going to tax? People that can't get by.
By the way, there's been talk from senators on both sides of the aisle about having Social Security being means tested. If your income's over 200,000, you don't need Social Security, so you shouldn't get it.
Got it. Okay. So if I don't take it now, then I might lose it.
Yeah, or a portion of it. But not only that,
Just based upon your required minimum distributions.
Not only that, I would make the argument because you're starting to take Social Security, you can do more Roth conversion. Because you have.
So I can leverage it to accelerate
Yes,
my loan.
Exactly. So
because
it serves two
your
purposes.
brokerage account is relatively small relative to your net worth.
I know.
And I if I were in your situation, I wouldn't want to see that get much smaller.
But don't beat yourself up about your $6 million IRA.
No, I'm not. It's a first world problem.
Oh, for
That
sure.
is
It's a good
100%.
problem.
So you can look at software programs all day long, but they're static, and the assumptions are,
Assumptions are the assumptions are.
yeah.
You change the assumptions, it's going to give you different recommendations.
Sometimes you could put in assumptions. Sometimes the software, but I would encourage you to step back and look at it philosophically, in terms of how you fit into the world in the United States, and we have created this economy that, if it says anything when they're talking about minimum incomes because of AI.
Right.
Imagine having that discussion with your grandfather. So here's what happens, grandfather.
We're gonna
You don't
confiscate.
have to go to you don't have to go to the steel mill anymore. My grandfather. You don't have to go to the steel mill. You just stay home and people send you checks.
And by the way, the Roth IRA, we are of the assumption that it's always going to be tax-free in the future. I wouldn't put that at 100%.
Right. Correct. No,
I don't know,
100%.
but in my lifetime, I remember as an advisor when there wasn't a 15% excise tax on retirement accounts greater than $750,000. So if you had you withdraw more than $750,000, I think that was the number.
Yeah.
It was a 15% excise tax.
yeah, and
So let me ask a second question.
Okay.
That's related. So if I started thinking about donor advised funds, does that change any of the equation?
not till 70. But
Okay.
but you don't have enough. The donor advised funds can't come from your IRA.
Well, they can as long as you have to withdraw them first and then put money in the donor advised fund.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. You
Yeah.
can't go directly
It
in.
just lowers my
That's
RMD
right.
in the future at some point.
Yeah.
But-
That's right.
Yeah, but if that's a big change in
my
behavior,
take-home is my take home is the Social Security. I had to look at that a little more carefully and think about how to leverage that.
Assuming you're not
Because
going to
of
work.
the
If you think you may work between now and normal retirement age, then it doesn't make sense.
to take the Social Security.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Yeah, I don't think I will. But you know.
if gifting hasn't been part of your life, in a serious manner, you're not going to do it now, regardless of what the tax return says to you.
Yeah, I do it about 10 or 15 a year right now.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you're there. You're there.
Unfortunately, your situation is not such that you've got a lot of great tax strategies when it comes to gifting. If you had some rental property that you'd owned for 30 years or something that had high appreciation, but you don't. I mean, you do have.
Right.
I would gift appreciated assets from your brokerage account to a donor advised fund.
Right.
So if it's 10 or
But right
15
now,
grand.
but right now there's not enough. In
All
there.
right. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
Unfortunately, you don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of those great.
All right. Did this
strategies.
help? Scott?
Yeah, it's helpful. It's got me thinking about something differently.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
that was the
I
objective.
would just look. My wife, the minute she turned 62, we started Social Security for her because she doesn't
Oh,
have a
really?
job.
Okay.
The minute, I mean, not
Right.
like weeks in advance, we applied for it.
Okay.
You don't want to wait and get a higher payout at age 70?
So do you think the Social Security taking early will make me bike faster?
It will 100%. It's guaranteed. It's
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's probably going to be very motivating.
That and two
So
energy bars.
Part of my thought on planning, though, really, particularly those with higher net worths, and the higher net worth, the more I think about this, I believe that the tax code will be more punitive to wealthy people in the future than it is today. Primarily because our system is not sustainable. At some point in time, we're going to run out of people to borrow money from as a country, right? It's just
I completely agree with that. So yeah.
Yes.
And you go where the money is.
Well, I appreciate the conversation.
All right, Scott.
Okay,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
us too. Yeah, wish you well.
All right. Thanks. Stay safe on that bicycle.